Good morning, everybody. How are you doing today? It is Sunday. I don't know what the date is, but it's the first week of October. It's almost full moon. The 6th of October will be the full moon. It's actually harvest moon. It's the first harvest moon of the year. So just check the moon, please. So I've been going through a lot this last while. And I was wondering, I've heard a lot of things on TikTok saying, you are who you mingle with. There's a lot of truth in that. If you have suffered a narcissistic relationship, or you've been in an abusive relationship and you haven't broken the bond or have got therapy for it, the problem happens is that you tend to attract people and become a codependent. And your whole life you will attract yourself to people that will break you down, that will destroy you, because that is where you feel comfortable. So, this is a bit of an upliftment today. Break the bond. Break it. You are better than that. You deserve better. You do deserve happiness. You deserve to be loved and cherished. You deserve to be appreciated. So me, I like to be alone, because solitude is where I find peace. Peace and quiet. And so I involve myself with people of a very intelligent level, because I enjoy knowledge. I enjoy learning stuff, and I enjoy knowing about things that I haven't learned before. So I surround myself with friends that are extremely intelligent, because one always has to learn. And that's something that's new. It's always nice to learn something new every day. So instead of doom scrolling every day, binge watching series, watching TV or social media, get yourself out there, get yourself decent friends. If you want to become like the world and be worldly people, then so be it. Then you know that your world will be very superficial. Trust me, people don't want to hear about where you're going and what you've done in your life. It's very irritating when you come to a conversation and someone just brags about what they've done and where they're going. So wadi-waha. Some word of advice: you have money, but you're not going to take it with you when you die. You have 17 cars, you have a big mansion. Oh, that's wonderful. What are you going to do with that? What have you achieved in life? Where's your wisdom? So what is your point in life? To brag about your riches. What does that say about you? It doesn't say a lot about you. Your integrity sucks. Because you know what's the worst? Is when you come into a conversation and you know that there's people out there that really are struggling, and all you want to do is just brag about what you have. That's despicable. Please stop doing that. If you want to boast and brag and have arrogance, just know this, that God will break you down. He hates the arrogance. He hates the proud. And so you have to be humble in the sight of God. You have to be. Because can I tell you something? What you have in your life is not what you've got. God has allowed that for you. Your riches is nothing. In God's eyes, He's created everything. He doesn't need your riches. He doesn't need your amount of holidays that you've spent, the amount of Gucci bags that you have, the amount of expensive cars that you drive. How do you treat your children? Do you spend time with your children? Do you spend time with your spouse? Because that's what matters. How you treat others. They say do unto others as you want to be treated. You've got to love your neighbor as you love yourself. And so if you brag about everything, then obviously you are very narcissistic and extremely arrogant, because I can assure you it doesn't matter how far you've come and what you've studied. In God's eyes it means nothing. Because if you don't bear fruits of the Spirit, you are futile to God. Nothing. You are in this world and you are of this world. And that means that you follow the deceiver. Because the devil owns this world. God allowed it. So if you want to be part of the devil's riches and his plan, then so be it. Then broad is the path to destruction. So, this is a word of advice. Don't follow the worldly riches as they are every day. If you have lots to give, give away. If you have very little, give little. Because God says, what you sow, you shall reap. You cannot keep it all to yourself. He knows that you don't have a lot to give. But there was that woman that was in church that gave the last penny that she had. And the Pharisees and the Sadducees mocked her and said, ha, 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 look what she gave. And what did Jesus say? Behold, this woman has given everything today. Blessed she will be. So, on this day, be better. Be a better person. And on that note, I want to say, what has happened to South Africa? We have all become part of this brainwashed system where everyone doesn't give a damn, so I'm not going to give a damn. Since when have you started that? If you're working in a position and you're working at a place and you've stopped giving your all, then stop being there, to resign. I did. I resigned because they didn't want to allow me to study further. They didn't want to allow me to grow because they were threatened by me. So if you are in South Africa today, people, and you're listening to this, you've listened this far, stop being like every other South African out there. South Africa needs a revolution, like that movie Underground 6. We need a revolution, and the revolution starts with you today. You cannot wait for others to make a difference. This change must start with you today. Whatever you do and everything that you do, you must give your all. When you clean your house, you give it your all. When you spend time with your kids, you give it your all. When you work, you give it your all. Where's your work pride, people? Everybody is telling me there is no such thing as service delivery in South Africa. That is ridiculous and appalling. I hate it. And that's why people are leaving South Africa, because nothing gets done. Why? Because of corruption. And now we're all sitting here waiting for what? Waiting for who's going to make a difference. Nobody's going to make a difference because everybody is sitting around on the fence waiting. Waiting for what? For better days. How's that going to happen if no one stands together? How's that going to happen if you yourself has let go? You've stopped giving a damn at work. You've stopped putting all your energy into it, and you're like, oh, it's just a job. It's not a job, people. God has given you that job, so you've got to work well in that job. Please, people, if you are teachers out there, do an excellent job. I've gone to so many schools, and I'm appalled by the curriculum nowadays. I know that you don't get good salaries, but that's not my fault that you decided to study in Gos. Please. If you don't want to be a teacher, please retire. Remove yourself from it. Children are the future. We need to hear what they have to say. You must guide them. You must lead them. You must educate them. And if you don't do it to your fullest, then please leave. But sitting there in class and not giving a damn and not putting in the extra effort and seeing those that are at loss and those that are struggling, you are appalling and despicable to me. South Africa is falling. Yes. But what are you doing about it today? What are you doing about it today? I know what I'm doing. I'm trying to make a difference as much as I can. But what are you doing today? Are you sitting there waiting around for something to happen? Because I can assure you nothing's going to happen. South Africa is sitting and waiting. We are an excellent country. We have the most beautiful nature around here. We also have the most safest places in the world. There's hardly any natural disasters of which we know of, only the few twisters here and there, and maybe instant flooding. But we don't have earthquakes, volcanoes. We don't have huge typhoons that you've now experienced now all over. We don't have those huge big fires. So yes, we have a very, very safe country. So you live in a beautiful country, but what are you doing about it? You're sitting and waiting for better days. Well, those better days aren't going to come if it doesn't start with you today. So today, please, people, these last 45 seconds that I have to say, make a difference in your life. Be better. Strive to be better. God has given you the gifts that you have. Use them. Stop sitting down and waiting. Get up and do something about your life. I am. What are you doing?